Hey guys, it's Paul, combat veteran, MMA fighter, YouTuber, and today we are back checking out Helsreach. But before we get started, be sure to check out the merch store. I've got new shirts in, and they are looking pretty cool. So definitely check out the link below. Okay, let's get into it.
Welcome to Helsreach.
Hail, Chaplain. I was born in a hive like this, you know.
Yeah, what's interesting to me is, of course, the bigger I'm thinking tank or armored vehicle is, the worse it tends to do in urban areas. Now, obviously, a Titan is big enough that it can just sort of crush buildings to get out of an urban jungle, but the unfortunate thing is that it is really vulnerable to lighter, more maneuverable, but damaging weapons. Things like a mounted artillery or even some sort of shoulder-fired, again, in the modern world we think of RPGs, but there may be some sort of very powerful man-portable weapon that you will have to watch every window of every building, right? It's easy for enemy to get close enough to the Titan to engage it. So, again, I would want to deploy something like a Titan well outside the city limits so that it can use its long range, its tremendous height, its field of vision to keep the enemy at a standstill and not allow anti-equipment or anti-armor teams to get close enough to deal really effective damage.
It is fitting then that you'll be dying here, Zaha.
Do you say so, Sir Knight? Have you seen me today?
It is impossible not to see you, Princeps.
It's impossible to kill me as well. Remember that, Grimaldus.
Okay, it's not a great sign of confidence when you tell someone they're going to die.
Helsreach was ready. And, as night fell, the sky caught fire.
Probably not a good look. Those are definitely Imperial battleships, battle cruisers.
The ship registers as the Purest Intent, an Astartes vessel, strike cruiser class, belonging to the Shadow Wolves. They fell at the Battle of Varadon 11 years ago. Their last companies were annihilated by the Tyrannid breed Xenos. The Black Templars were with them at the end. What is the status of Battlefleet Armageddon? Holding, but we have a greater comprehension of enemy numbers now. The 4 to 9 day estimate has been abandoned as of 30 minutes ago. This is the greatest greenskin fleet ever to face the Imperium. The fleet's casualties are approaching 1 million souls. 1 or 2 more days at best. The crash ship? I suggest we hold, Reclusiarch. A handful of greenskin survivors cannot hope to survive an assault against the walls. They would be insane, even for orcs to try. Send a Titan. I am not making a jest. Send the Titan to obliterate the wreckage. Inspire the men. Give them an overwhelming victory before the true battle is even joined.
The Commissar is correct. Helsreach needs an overwhelming victory. It is time my knights took to the field.
Okay, so... Oh, it's an orc. So it's an Imperial battlecruiser that was seized by the orcs?
This is bad comedy.
Fall back, damn it!
Priamus sensed another lecture about vainglory in his future.
We will draw first blood.
Grimaldus had said to them all, as if it was something to care about, as if it would affect the final battle in any way at all.
Join me, brothers. Join me as I shake off this disgust at the stasis gripping my bones and slake my bloodthirst in holy slaughter.
These warriors who called him vainglorious were blind to the truth. He was not rash, he merely trusted in his skills to carry him through any challenge. Was that a weakness? How could it be considered so, when Priamus's deeds and glories were already rising to eclipse those of his brothers?
Priamus, leave him be. Let him hunt. He needs to stand alone for now. He needs discipline. He needs our trust. I smell fresh blood. A survivor, still bleeding. No. What did you say? I said no. They always seem so immune to pain. But no. Look into its eyes, brother. Do you see? No, brother. If there is a lesson in this, I am blind to it. Let me end it. Its existence offends me. No. Its lifespan is measured in moments. Let it die in this pain.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's an interesting ethic. So the Geneva Convention is very clear that enemy combatants who cannot resist any further are entitled to the same treatment as your own soldiers. And I've actually had this experience, right, where an enemy combatant was wounded to the point of incapacity, right, where they weren't armed, they weren't able to resist. And that's what we had to do. We treated them. We called a medevac. But this is hard for people to do, right? You have to develop a real resentment, a real hatred of your enemy, and it requires a lot of martial discipline to suppress or resist that urge to inflict cruelty on your enemy. Of course, this presupposes that your enemy has a certain baseline humanity and baseline feelings that is common to the human experience, and obviously orcs do not have that. So it's hard to say. As discussed, they aren't even sure that this orc is experiencing pain.
Nero, do you see something?
Yes, something.
So enlighten me.
It's Priamus.
Isn't it always?
I've lost his life signs.
That cannot be. Here, among this rabble, I do not make mistakes. Reclusiarch,
Speak.
I've lost Priamus's life signs, sir. Brothers, maintain search and destroy orders. What? We need to be silent. I will find Priamus.
That is tactically a really dumb decision. One, you are the commander. Your job is to command the troops. Yes, you should not ask a soldier to do anything you aren't prepared to do yourself. But you have to realize your role in not just this particular mission, but the greater defense of Helsreach. They are on this search and destroy mission just to score a victory over the orcs for propaganda purposes. One, it should be done, it should be being recorded, right, or broadcast somehow. Two, if you should have a tactical plan that reduces the risk to as near zero as you can get. Again, as you can see, something unexpected happened because in combat, unexpected things happen constantly. Right? The definition of a good strategy is one that the enemy finds unexpected. And we see now, because he let his headstrong young space marine out by himself, that now he has potentially gotten killed, or at the very least compromised the mission's effectiveness and forced the mission's commander and the commander of the defense of Helsreach to go on some wild goose chase to police him up. It's really, really just badly thought out.
Greetings. Nero.
Reclusiarch.
I have found Priamus. Aft, deck 4, tertiary spine corridor.
On my way. Assessment?
Some kind of force discharging weapon. His armor is powered down, but he's still breathing.
3 minutes, Reclusiarch.
Though their comms is actually good, right? You notice every one of them always says who they're calling for. I assume that through the Vox channel they can see who's calling. But yeah, there's a constant... they always frame the conversation with the intended recipient or the sender.
Those horsens. They shot me. Some kind of nerve weapon. Get away from me. Speak. I would hear your thoughts. I am not blind to your tensions of late. Duty is not always glorious. You have changed since inheriting Mordred's mantle. You are speaking foolishness. No, hear me. We have spoken, Cador, Nero, Bastilan, Priamus, and myself. We must all deal with these changes, and we must all face this duty. Your darkness is spreading to the entire crusade.
Reclusiarch.
Colonel Saren.
Reclusiarch. Throne of the God Emperor. It's truly beginning.
Elaborate.
Battle Fleet Armageddon is in full retreat. The Astartes fleet is withdrawing alongside them. It's beginning.
Has there been any communication from the Eternal Crusader?
Yes. Shall I have the message relayed to you?
At once, Colonel.
Helsreach, this is the Crusader. We are breaking from the planet. The orbital war is lost. Hell is coming, brother.
I mean, I wonder if the ships, right, that are depicted, if they are being beached intentionally near a hive city on Helsreach so that they could be recovered and repaired, or if that was just a cut that was symbolic, like symbolizing the fleet being destroyed in orbit. Or are these orc ships that have been captured or commandeered?
Do you see that? Do you see that? Are you all as insulted as I am? This is what they send against us? This is what they send, this rabble. We hold one of the mightiest cities on the face of the planet. The fury of its guns sends all skyborne enemies to the ground in flames. We stand united in our thousands, our weapons without number, our purity without question, and our hearts beating courage through our blood. And this is how they attack us? Brothers and sisters, a legion of beggars and alien dregs wheezes its way across the plains. Forgive me when the moment comes that they whine and weep against our walls. Forgive me that I must order you to waste ammunition upon their worthless bodies. I have heard many souls speak my name in whispers since I came to Helsreach. I ask you now, do you know me? Do you know me? Yes! I am Grimaldus of the Black Templars, a brother to the steel legions of this defiant world. Never again in life will your actions carry such consequence. Never
Oh
again
man,
will
the
you serve as you serve now.
soaring orchestral music
No
returns.
duty will matter as much, and no glory will taste as true. We are the defenders of Helsreach. On this day, we carve our legend in the flesh of every alien we slay. Will you stand with me? Yes! Sons and daughters of the Imperium, our blood is the blood of heroes and martyrs. The Xenos dare defile our city. They dare tread the sacred soil of our world.
We will throw their bodies from these walls when the final day dawns. This is our city. This is our world. Say it, cry it out so the bastards in orbit will hear our fury. Run, alien dogs. Come to me. Come to us all. Come and die in blood and fire. For the Templars. For the Steel Legion. For Helsreach. Louder. They cannot hear you, brothers. Hurl yourselves at these walls, inhuman filth. Die in our blades. I am Grimaldus of the Black Templars and will cast your carcasses from these holy walls.
Man, they really do love drama. But there is one thing that I will say. It is actually funny that it's inspires confidence when you can dismiss something that's actually pretty tremendously frightening as being a triviality, right? It's got to be heartening for the guardsman, right, to see someone like a space marine who has lived hundreds of years and fought in hundreds of battles to express such confidence and to view it as being not even that bad a situation, right? And, of course, the hearkening to a military unit's traditions and history and battle legacy is huge in the military. The sense that you as an individual are just a small component of a military unit's history and long period of service is a huge motivator for troops. That sense that you carry the storied legacy and you represent the storied legacy of that unit going forward. I have a lot of personal pride at having served with the 101st Airborne in Afghanistan, right? Task Force Bastogne. And yeah, I do definitely carry that, okay, we were this is the legacy of, the guys who dropped into D-Day. And that does carry weight, when you're out there. So yeah, hearkening to the traditions of the Steel Legion, especially when you have something like Armageddon, where literally your grandfather or your great-grandfather could have also served in the Steel Legion, right? So to represent them through your conduct or the opportunity to do so is a tremendous motivator.
I've always believed there is something beautiful in the very first moments of a battle. Here are the moments of highest emotion. The fear of mortal men. The frustrated bloodlust and screaming overconfidence of mankind's enemies. In the moments when a battle is joined, the purity of the human species is first revealed to the foe.
Just going to point out they really missed an opportunity to not litter the area around the city with mines. But maybe they did. Maybe they did, but only along certain approaches, and maybe the orcs are taking a different approach. I'd love to criticize the orc tactics, but orcs are stupid and their tactics are stupid, so everything they do wrong is right by lore. Yeah, well, I mean, maybe you got to get at a certain angle, but man, you want to minimize the amount of time you're exposed over the top of those parapets, and maybe crouch down a little bit or something. Okay, this really makes you feel like the laser cannons, the las guns don't do anything. Interesting. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, so it's, again, interesting, like, strategic choice that clearly they've got these shock troops that are meant to sort of leap in, get behind the enemy firing line, and break it apart. I'm just sort of surprised because to me the strategy would be to have a rear guard whose dedicated focus is to deal with these orc jumpers or rocket troops. And it appears that the Space Marines are best equipped to do that, but instead you saw their firing line turn around and deal with those shock troops. Yeah, I will tell you that in no military doctrine are you allowed, at least in the U.S., to mercy kill a wounded soldier. That's not a thing that we do in modern warfare. Maybe other militaries do it, but yeah, no, that's not a thing that we do. That's just part of the deal. You know. You make the decision to serve in uniform, you put yourself in tremendous risk, but the promise is that your buddies will try to save your life up until the end, and we will not leave your body behind. There's even some instances of soldiers, as the U.S. was withdrawing from Iraq, soldiers who were killed 7, 8, 9 years prior, their remains, the efforts to find their remains, basically redoubled before the U.S. withdrew, and the U.S. refused to withdraw until they had recovered all of the remains of their soldiers. Again, we're talking about a soldier that had been killed so far before, so many years prior, that they had a different uniform, a different camouflage pattern. They had the desert camo uniform when their body was recovered. Also, how short of guardsmen are they that they can't even evacuate their wounded back?
That is a bleak picture. The real battle begins tomorrow. At least we will not be bored. I believe they will wait. They will wait until they have overwhelming force with which to crush us, and they will strike like a hammer. I requested we withdraw all guard forces from the wasteland installations across all of southern Armageddon Secundus. The Colonel agreed in principle. What's worth guarding out there? Munitions. A great deal of munitions, to be used when the hive cities fall and need to be reclaimed. But that is not all. The desert vultures spoke of a curious legend, something buried beneath the sands. A weapon.
That is really interesting. Having a contingency in place for your hive city to be retaken. And it's curious to me because it's like, retaken from what? Right? Your hive city's value is its people. So if it's taken by Xenos and those people killed, then why bother recovering it at all?
Hades' hive.
But what is interesting is it is reminiscent of the North Vietnamese army, probably the best logisticians of the 20th century. And they would often have caches of weapons, not only weapons and ammunition, but food, medical supplies, almost everything hidden in the jungle, known not to the militaries themselves, because that is valuable intel, right? A captured soldier could reveal, but known to clandestine party civilians in these individual villages. And so there would be some fairly innocuous-looking old man, young woman, who would be the irregular, the party's representative in this local village. The NVA unit would arrive, they would link up with him or her, and that civilian would direct them to the nearby caches of rice, of ammunition, of medical supplies so they could be refit.
Will not survive the first week. What is coming in system now far exceeds what has laid waste to the planet before. The other hives must be reinforced 1,000 times over. Hades will burn.
Man, they really stepped up the animation here.
Syria Tyro, greetings.
How may I be of service, Reclusiarch?
We have defensive positions in the wastelands, manned by the Steel Legion.
Yes.
Yes. I was informed today exactly what is stored in the underground hangar of the D-16 West outpost, 98 kilometers to the northwest of the city. None of our briefings mentioned it was a sealed Mechanicus facility. Do you know your history, Adjutant Tyro?
I have studied several of the decisive battles of the First War.
Then you will know what Mechanicus weapon was designed and first deployed here.
I don't think you can be right.
Perhaps not. But I intend to learn the truth for myself. One of our gunships will carry a small group to D-16 West in 1 hour.
But it's sealed.
It will not be sealed for long.
It's Mechanicus territory.
I do not care. If I am right in my suspicions, there is a weapon there. I want that weapon, Syria Tyro, and I will have it.
You can't leave the city before dawn. The
The
enemy...
enemy will not break the city walls in the first day, and Bayard, Emperor's champion of the Helsreach Crusade, will command the Templars in my absence.
I can't allow you to do this.
There's a chain of command, and if this is the person who is in charge of your city's defenses, you don't get to not allow him to do anything. That's like the first rule of being an adjutant, by the way, is you have to lovingly corral your charge. You can't tell them what they can and cannot do.
It will enrage the Mechanicus.
I am not asking for your permission, Adjutant. I am asking if you wish to come with us.
You really got to trade your cap for a helmet, man. Here's the thing you got to remember with helmets, right? That's a steel bulkhead, and you're flying, really, over enemy territory. So even if they shoot something close to your ship, and it causes the ship to rattle around, right? It's going to have a ton of concussive force. And if your unprotected head slams into the bulkhead, then you've got a concussion, and now you're a casualty. And what a dumb reason to be a casualty, right? Plus, sometimes, you know, a nicer helmet may actually have, like, Vox comms, which could be useful. In case you didn't notice, I was sort of a stickler for bringing all the right gear and not kind of cowboying it up.
Try not to get us shot down.
Brother, does anyone ever laugh at your jokes?
Humans sometimes do.
Interesting. Appreciate that subtle separation between a space marine and a human.
My princeps.
Hello, Valiant.
My princeps, the adepts of the soul are reporting discontent within Storm Herald's heart. We are getting anomalous readings of ill temper from the reactor core.
We are angry, Maserati. We yearn to bring the thunder down upon our foes.
That is understandable, my princeps. You are operating at peak capacity. You are sanguine?
Are you querying if I am at risk of...
being consumed by Storm Herald's heart.
Maintenance adept, attend to the princeps vocalizer unit. I trust you, my princeps. Forgive me for troubling you.
There is none. Your concern touches me, Valiant. We will see battle soon, Valiant. Ronaldus has promised it to us.
We are all ready, my princeps.
Yep. You know, it's like a stereotype in militaries that people who pilot or spend a lot of time around certain types of weapon systems have different bizarre stereotypes around them, right? There's the prima donna pilot, right, with the watch that's, you know, more than you or I get paid in a month. There's, with the, you know, pilots always have the beautiful haircuts. There's the Navy SEAL who takes tons of steroids and does fucking CrossFit. Gotta watch my language. And does a lot of CrossFit. There's, of course, the artilleryman who is kind of a little shell-shocked, been around too many big explosions and is a little kooky. And, of course, you have all the radiomen, cryptological nerds who will stare at their feet, except for the extroverts who will actually stare at yours. You know, these sort of stereotypes are pretty persistent. So it's interesting that I don't know if it's ritualized it or what, but they really seem to have, you really get the impression that the princeps and the princeps connection with this machine is pretty strange to the standard regular Mechanicus.
Andre?
What is it now, eh? I'm busy, okay?
Is that a gunship?
What are you talking about, eh?
That. This is Damaska at Boundary 3. Contact. Imperial gunship inbound.
That is the Black Templars, yes? They are from Helsreach. I know this. I listen to my briefings. I do not sleep like you.
This can't be good.
I do not agree, you know. This is Astartes business. It will be good. Good for us, bad for the enemy. What? It will be good. You'll see, eh? I'm always right.
Sleeping through the briefings. That's a... Well, that just means that somebody doesn't have a very good commander.
Should we, salute? Is that what you're supposed to do?
I don't know, just stand at attention.
Captain, I'm Adjutant Quintus Tyro, seconded to Hive Helsreach from the Lord General's command staff. With me are Reclusiarch Grimaldus and Master of the Forge Jurician of the Black Templars chapter.
Greetings.
We've come to enter the installation.
Forgive me. Is this a joke?
Far from it. There is no power here. They left this place entirely devoid of energy.
No, there is power. The installation sleeps but does not lie dead. It is locked in hibernation. Power still beats through its veins. The resonance is low, the pulse is slow. I hear it nevertheless.
Can you open these doors? Can you get us down into the complex?
It will necessitate a great deal of rerouting power from auxiliary sources, and those will be difficult to reach from a remote connection point here. A parasitic feed is required.
Jurician, answer the question.
Forgive me, Reclusia. Yes, I will need 1 hour.
Digging for secrets in the sand, yes? Well, that is not going to make the Mechanicus smile, I think.
Yeah, it's also interesting and sort of bizarre that the troops in a combat zone, right, where, as discussed, are, 80 kilometers from the Orc formation, and the Orcs have vehicles. They could cover 80 kilometers in 3 hours, and yet they align in parade formation for a gunship. A gunship, which, by the way, you can easily trace its trajectory, right? If you're an Orc and you see a gunship flying off into the distance, maybe you choose to follow it. See where it's going. Just gave you a straight line path.
This is a magnetic field stabilizer housing.
What does it do?
It houses the stabilizers for a magnetic field generator.
That's pretty quintessential. Just sort of assume all humans are idiots. Which, honestly, if you've been doing, like, weird tech stuff for, 500 years, that probably everybody feels like an idiot. I mean, look at how many times you have to help, like, your coworker or your mom with her computer. And it's just like, okay, hit the X. Nope, top right corner, the X. The other X. The other X. That must be what it feels like to talk to human beings when you're a 500-year-old, like, tech guru. No idea what Oberon is.
I was right. This is it.
It is so beautiful. It is magnificent. This would survive orbital bombardment. It is void shielded, armored like no bunker I have ever seen, and sealed with 1 billion or more individual codes.
Can you do it?
I have never witnessed anything so complex and incredible. It would be like mapping every particle within a star.
Can you do it?
Yes, Helsreach, but it will take between 9 and 11 days.
I don't believe it. It can't be here.
It is. This is where the Mechanicus hid the Ordinatus Armageddon after the First War. This is the tomb of Oberon.
That doesn't help me at all. Yeah, I'm here to tell you, real combat, no Deus Ex Machina, no hidden super weapons. It just your hidden super weapon is a good plan and solid training and well-maintained equipment.
Helsreach! Grimaldus, speak. The old man's predictions were correct, as you suspected. The enemy is annihilating Hades Hive from orbit. It is crudely done. Standard bombardment with mass drivers to hurl asteroids at a defenseless city. A dark day's work, brother. Will you return soon? We are on our way back now.
Okay, so I kind of thought that the city was surrounded. Where are these tanks coming from? Okay. Also, copyrighted music. Gotta watch that. Oh, okay. That's Hive Fleet or Hive City, Hades. Yeah, I think that's actually how a nuclear explosion or an asteroid strike would look. Put your goggles down.
Yarrick was right. Hades is burning.
Brace yourself, brothers!
Should have worn a helmet. Yeah, not at all clear on what just happened. What's happening with the Titan? If that's like the machine spirit of the Titan, kind of pushing hard and trying to take over, or if something, whatever's in the vault, is like influencing the Princeps. All right, guys, we're going to pause it there, right? That is just about in an hour, and we are an hour and 17 into Helsreach, and things are only getting crazier. So be sure, of course, let me know in the comments if I missed any of the cool details. Be sure to check out the merch store and the new shirts, and check out the Instagram and second channel down below. And until next time, I will see you guys later.